Views and content expressed in the following program are not representative of ONTV or the Board of Directors. ONTV and its Board of Directors do not endorse the views, thoughts, or content of the following program.
Hello again, and welcome to Political Talk. This is a show of open conversation. We do not take sides. I guess, if anything, we bash all sides.
Yeah, I enjoy doing that myself.
Yeah, the purpose in what we do is the fact that we find that our government officials have a tendency of, let's see, how do you want to call it? Stretching the truth, spinning like a top.
Misleading us.
Misleading, that's a good one. That's a good one. Well, let's see. Now, what's the new term?
We're not going to go with alternative facts.
Oh, yes. Alternative facts. I'm hoping that hits Webster's this year. Or we can just call it lying.
Either way, they've lost touch with the people.
Yes. The thing is that these are people that we really need to trust, and they have shown us now through the fact that after speeches or during speeches, they actually have fact-checking. When you have to fact-check something that comes out of a politician's mouth, whether it's Democrat, Republican, or whatever their favor happens to be, it's pretty sad.
That's just putting it mildly.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice. Now, our conversations usually get a little heated. The last one, they called in the fire department, I believe. But for this one, we're going to kind of tone it down, and let's take a topic of insurance, because insurance seems to be a big issue, whether it be health, auto. You know quite a bit about the catastrophic.
Well, Michigan's catastrophic
yes,
claims
yes.
count. Well, Michigan's auto insurance it's 136% higher than the national average. We're getting hit on both sides with health insurance and auto insurance, both in Michigan.
I'd like to ask, are we, out of the 50 states, where would we be ranked?
Right now,
yeah,
we're the highest in the auto insurance.
Oh.
We're 136% higher than the national average. They're basing this all on FICO scores. I mean, years ago when you used to drive, yeah, or when you bought auto insurance, it would go by your driving record. You know, if you've had multiple accidents or no accident, if you didn't have any accidents, you got a good insurance rate. You got to realize people might have a medical issue that comes up when they hit 30 years old or even 40 years old or even 25 years old. That can affect their FICO score, which is their credit rating. And insurance companies are being allowed to use these FICO scores to bleed more money out of you.
Wait a minute. So my FICO score, what does that have to do with insurance? My FICO score doesn't drive my car. I do.
No, but that's the thing. The insurance companies, and it's on both of them. Your FICO score affects both your health insurance and your auto insurance, even though it has nothing to do with your health or your car.
Okay, so if I have a high FICO score, that's in my favor?
Yes.
And
but
if I have a low one?
That goes against you. That means that they can charge you more money.
That doesn't make a damn bit of sense.
No, it doesn't. And I've talked to numerous insurance agents on the auto side. And one of the first questions after they get through getting all your normal information, your name, address, type of vehicle, they do a background check or a credit check on you. And they call it a soft check. But anytime anybody does any credit check against you, it affects your FICO score. So you're 35 years old and you get into a car accident, not your fault. Your health insurance gets hit and your auto insurance gets hit. So you're in the hospital, you get a bunch of bills because you ended up with major injuries from the accident, and your credit score takes a hit, okay? That's going to get you two-pronged, because not only is the accident, because it's no fault, your insurance has to pay out for that accident for you, they also had to pay some of your medical, and then some of your other insurance will take care of some of that. But your FICO score took a hit from missing bills because you missed work and everything like that. So when your insurance comes up every 6 months, because if you notice, when they do a policy for you, it's based on a 6-month cycle. You may get a binder for your car that might say for the whole year, but if you pay attention to what the insurance companies are doing, you're getting a 6-month binder. They set everything up. Well, I had a friend who he had a heart attack, and he missed his insurance payment by, I think it was 9 days. So when he got out of the hospital, he went back over to his insurance company. He offered to sit there and pay the late fees and everything and get everything current. They canceled him. Had excellent insurance coverage at that point. The minute they canceled him, all of a sudden he went from, I don't know the exact dollar, I think it was right around $152 a month he was paying on 2 vehicles. And he went from that $152 a month all the way up to $405 a month because they had to put him in high risk. This is the thing that I'm talking about with, after all, it's mandatory, right? We have to have auto insurance. We have to have health insurance. We can go on with this for hours, but the whole thing is, if something is mandatory, it needs to be affordable.
Well, it's a stupid question, but with the way our roads are, and our state government has really allowed them to
deteriorate.
Deteriorate is a polite word. They're in the crapper.
Yeah.
But so many people have had accidents with their tires and their axles, and their insurance companies, I hear, don't pay for that.
The majority of them don't.
Or it's your deductible is so high that it really doesn't matter. And I think that due to the fact that the state had the money to fix the roads and just didn't do it because, the last time there was a major road repair, Governor Engler had given it to campaign donors. And by doing that, then nothing got done. And in fact, one of the funny stories that came out of Lansing back during that regime was they had done Telegraph Road, and they messed it up and had to take it up and do it again, and they still got paid. When I was campaigning, I met some of the guys that worked on I-96, the one that opened in, when was the last presidential, 2014? Gubernatorial? Yeah. And they said to me that they were working 12-hour days. And I said, oh, yeah, you work the same as me. I was working a lot of hours too. And I asked him what he was doing. He said, yeah, we put in I-96. And he said the governor wanted it open for campaign purposes. So they skimped on it. And he said 5 years is all it'll last because of the work. They had to rush it, all for campaign purposes. Now, the thing is, these roads have an effect on our cars, which have an effect on our insurance. Every time you use the insurance, and it's really very funny. Insurance, I always thought, was something out of Las Vegas. The car insurance, AAA bets me that I'm going to have an accident, and I bet them that I'm not. The difference is they hold
all the money.
Well,
and they hold all the cards.
Thank you. I was going to say something else, but yeah, they hold all the cards, and then they play the wild card. Oh, well, let's see. It was raining out. That's an act of God. We don't pay for that. Or it was the second Tuesday of the week. We don't pay for that either. So they come up with reasons.
They try.
Yeah, they do.
It doesn't matter what type of insurance you have. They always try to get out of paying.
Now they're trying to, what I hear, they want to get rid of the no fault and go back
to
the old
AtFault.
way. Now, which one is better and which one is more to our advantage? For the consumer. I'm talking.
As far as
consumers.
consumer goes,
Yeah.
AtFault would be the best thing for the people of Michigan
How so?
because it actually is based on your driving abilities. No fault. See, with no fault, you have an insurance company, we'll call it Insurance A, and I have Insurance B. We get into an accident. Doesn't matter whose fault it was. My insurance pays for my car, your insurance pays for your car.
They seem simple.
It's simple, right? The only problem is that gives our insurance companies leeway to jack our prices up no matter what. At fault, you have Insurance A and I have Insurance B again.
So no fault is fault.
It doesn't matter.
Well, what I'm
At
saying
fault
is,
is at fault.
I have no fault insurance, but anytime there's an accident,
It's
I'm
your
at fault.
fault.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, let's clarify that.
But again, on an at-fault system, they're going to find who caused the accident. Okay? We'll say in this instance, I caused this accident. So my insurance pays for your car, and if I have full coverage, they'll pay for my car as well. It doesn't go against you at all. So my insurance is probably going to be hiked because I had an accident.
It's going to be hiked anyway.
They got to recoup their money somehow, right?
No, but I mean, either way,
But
you're
see,
going to pay higher.
here's why
prices.
we have higher rates right now, because it is no fault. There's a lot of states that are starting to drop no fault insurance and become an at fault state again. Ohio's been talking about it for the last couple years. With everybody being no fault auto insurance, the insurance companies raise your rates because they know no matter what happens, they have to pay out. Now, most of your auto insurance carries health insurance now as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people say if you get hurt, crawl to your car. It's better health insurance with that than it is with your health insurance, whether
never
it be
heard
Blue
that.
Cross Blue Shield. The only reason they say that is because the auto insurance industry has what we call the MCCA, Michigan Catastrophic Claims Account. Right now, this account has nearly $20 billion in it. They're using roughly $600 million for claims. That's it. Now, the sad part and the thing that bothers me the most about this MCCA account is the fact that it's our money here in Michigan. Okay, it's yours and my money. People who pay for auto insurance, you pay $150 or $200 per vehicle per year for that account. Okay? You would think, seeing how it's money from the people of Michigan, they would invest it in Michigan.
Yeah.
It's not. It is invested in California, Ohio, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Florida. Not one investment in Michigan that I can find. 12 pages.
Who controls this? Who?
The auto insurance companies.
Okay, so this catastrophic fund, who's the one that invested? The auto company or auto
It's
insurance?
you and I who invested in it. We're forced to pay into that fund.
No, what I'm saying is the money that's invested in these outside the state. Who does that? The governor or?
The insurance companies do. They're investing to keep that account as full as they can. They collect the interest off of it only for this account.
But that's our money.
It's all our it's all our auto owners' insurance money. Every car you own, and you have to have insurance on it. Every car you own 2 cars, you're going to pay $150, or I believe it's $150 per vehicle per 6 months. So $300 a year per vehicle you're putting on that into that MCCA. But yet they don't want to invest it in our state, even though it's our money. I would think that they should invest that money in our state, not in other states to help other companies in the other states to survive. They should be putting that right here back in Michigan. And that makes me so angry that all that money is sitting in there and being invested outside of our state.
Well, no, the health insurance bill, the so-called Affordable Health Care Act or Obamacare, or what's supposedly coming up, the Trump Care.
I have not figured about Trump's yet. I've heard bits and pieces about it, and I don't know where it's going.
Well, a couple of things that really boggled my mind was the fact that they never read it, but they voted on it.
You're talking about the ACA.
Yeah. Now, the thing was, it took over a year to get that actually in place. How, as a congressman, if I'm your congressman or your state senator, before I cast a vote, it's only logical to me that I would read what I'm voting on. And I would come down and tell the people that I'm representing. But what I've noticed is they tell their party and their party affiliation about what it is. And, you know, the party affiliation, the parties themselves really don't do anything about it. It's the people that are going to have to pay for it. But one question that I've had since I've been listening to it, they say now they're going to make insurance accessible and get rid of the ACA. But the thing is, insurance has always been accessible. It's just not been affordable. Now, whether it's with the ACA or otherwise, it's just plain not affordable.
I think anytime the government gets involved with these insurance companies, our insurance goes up. Even when they say it's affordable, and that's a lot of because of what the government puts in there. They'll put incentives, what's the word I'm looking for, where they help pay for the insurance.
Well, I guess.
And when they do that, that's a false
feeling.
Yeah, but it's also, I mean, if they come in, if you go on to the ACA or the Affordable Care Act and you find on there that you've got, there's an insurance plan on there, say, I'm just going to use round numbers, $300 a month for you and your wife. Okay, you're not seeing the money that the federal government's putting behind that to subsidize that insurance plan. But at the same time, you go over here and you see one that says $600, and you're looking at the benefit difference.
Yeah, but I'm also looking at something else. Isn't the term affordable and accessible relative to a certain segment of society? Because affordable to people who live in Bloomfield and Birmingham, and affordable to people who live in maybe Ferndale or Detroit or Flint is all relative to where you come from. So that same insurance for someone who lives in Bloomfield isn't so bad. But someone that, you know, you're making $25,000, $30,000 a year, that's a little different.
And their answer,
I see it different.
You look at the Obamacare or ACA, you look how they change their policy in order to make it more affordable for the people. They'll give they'll give you 3 tiers. They'll give you the silver, the gold, and the platinum, so to speak, okay? But that platinum has got a $5,000 deductible, but yet you'll get it for, say, $450 compared to the bronze, or what I say, silver, for $300. But yet the deductible over here is $3,500. So you've got to span. The reason they're being able to get it down so that it's affordable, so to speak, on there is the deductibles are so high. The average deductible for a family of 4 right now is $5,000. And these are off of Blue Cross Blue Shield numbers. So in order for you to have any health benefit from that insurance, you have to pay that $5,000 per family member.
Now, the cost in the medical field, from what I've heard and what I've seen, is the drug companies, their prices are exorbitant compared to what they actually are producing. Secondly, the insurance companies and raising of the rates, the hospital cost, and what actually goes, for example, a young man named Britt or Kenny Brill, I'm sorry, he wrote an article in Time magazine that explained a lot of things. And now that little cup that they bring the pill to you in, that's $5.
Right.
Now you get those free at McDonald's.
Right.
So I'm wondering, well, maybe I should take some of those into the hospital with me when I go in and say, you know, instead of using your cups, can I use mine? You know,
Well, let me
blanket,
give you a good
$15.
example again. And
Okay.
they're starting to use more MRIs more and more for injuries. It's a great tool. Okay, you go in there and you have Medicaid. You go in there, that MRI costs you costs your insurance just under $500. You go in there with Medicare, the same MRI, same building. That costs your insurance just under $700. You go in there with Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is you might as well call it a third-party insurance. It costs you $5,000.
Why do you call it third-party insurance?
Because nowadays everybody's basing health insurance on state or federal. Medicaid is a state-run insurance with federal subsidies,
Okay.
and Medicare is strictly federal.
Okay, now with this new plan that they got coming in,
You're talking about with Trump.
yeah, they're saying that the states are going to take it over and basically run it better than the federal government. Is it
I think that's the way to go.
how would that help Michigan?
Well, if we get a strong enough governor in there, I mean, because Rick Snyder isn't going to do anything worth a crap. Sorry about that. I'm not bashing him. But just speaking the truth, if the state comes in there and offers, let's say, to open up their Medicaid to the people of Michigan. Right now, the average cost of health insurance for a family of four, if you're healthy, is between $1,200 and $1,400 a month. What would happen if the state came in there and said, we're going to open up Medicaid to everybody in the state of Michigan? It'll cost you between $600 and $700 a month for a family of four with a $1,500 deductible. When you have that choice, $600 or $700 a month, and I'm only cutting it in half from Blue Cross Blue Shield, but these are Blue Cross Blue Shield's numbers, $1,200 and $1,400 for a family of four, but their deductible is $3,500. You come in there with a plan for $600 or $700 a month with a $1,500 deductible, you would think the families of Michigan would easily jump on something like that.
I think it would. I'm going to put on those rose-colored glasses you told me about.
You want to borrow?
Yeah, is, in my estimation, if all voters, in fact, not even all voters, if all the people of the districts would come together and tell their representative, get your hind parts up there, get in that room, and all of you, you don't leave that room until you walk out with a unified plan. It's not a Democratic plan. It's not a Republican plan. It is a logical, beneficial plan to the people of the state and of the country. This crap of this side versus this side, this party versus this party, and whoever's name you want to put on, why don't you just put it insurance for the people and leave it at that?
I'll give you that one.
I do not understand how these guys, and the problem is we allow them to do it. If we were to get on the phone and every time we see them say, look, we want something done. We don't. You get in that room and do not come out until you agree. Well, I mean, doesn't it make sense?
Well,
that's what you're there for.
The big thing
come
is
to agreement.
The big thing right now with Michigan is the insurances. Okay, the reason I have an issue with this is because it's mandatory.
Well,
But they're not. They're not. I mean, it's an $80 billion industry in health insurance, $47 billion industry in auto insurance. All profits.
Whether it's mandatory or not, these guys are kicking out a lot of money for these politicians.
That's why they're
vote.
not regulating them.
Yes.
Is because the insurance companies are handing them large checks.
It's enormous amounts.
And you know.
And undercover.
I would say to them right now, you know, like I said, health insurance had an $80 billion industry here in Michigan. Auto insurance, $47 billion. You know what? They could survive on $40 billion compared to $80 billion, and that's all profit. So don't let them ever kid you that they can't afford to drop their rates.
So we've come to the end of another show. I guess the basis of this show would be when you get your insurance bill and you look
Pay
at
attention to it.
yeah, when you look at how much you're paying, if you're okay with it, just like we've said with other issues on this show, if this is okay with you, if you're satisfied with it, that's great. If you're not, you used your vote, whether it be for Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter. You have a representative. They're supposed to be looking out for your interests, making your life better. You call them and let them know. Call them again and again and again. So we have to close. I wish we could keep going, but
Thank
again,
you, sir.
Thank you.
Have
This
a
is
good night.
Political Talk. Have a nice night.
Views and content expressed in the previous program are not representative of ONTV or the Board of Directors. ONTV and its Board of Directors do not endorse the views, thoughts, or content of the previous program.